All right. What's up, guys? It's another edition of Bulldog Uncensored. We've got the Black Dahlia, Paige Collett here from the JCW. We're going to talk about life coming up in wrestling and see what her journey looks like along the way while dealing with a heavy-duty medical condition.
For
So,
sure. Yeah.
Paige, thanks for coming on. Apologize
Hey
for the
guys.
technical difficulties and whatnot.
No, you're
Um,
fine. Thank you for your patience, and
it's
I'm
all
happy to
good.
be brought on. I
Right on.
love having an opportunity to share my story and then also educate people on my rare disease. So this is great. I'm excited to talk.
Yeah. No, I'm glad to have you on here. And it's funny, I got in touch with you through Curtain Call Records. My band was on the WrestleMania compilation CD that you were promoting in Vegas. That's the last
Nice.
time that they
Okay,
were at
so
Mania.
oh yeah. So guys, besides being a professional wrestler, one of the thing, and besides being an advocate for my rare disease, I am also a model actor, and that company had me advertising like different bands, correct?
Yeah. Yeah,
What
they
band or
made
what band or was it, babe?
uh we're called Dead Man's Trigger.
How many bands do you have? Just that?
Just that one right now, yeah.
What was it called again?
Dead Man's Trigger.
What song did you have on the album?
I think it was Succubus.
Succubus, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I was doing a signing out at WrestleMania. Are you a wrestling fan or are you
Oh
just
yeah.
aware of
Yeah.
me because of the music
No,
scene?
total wrestling fan too. So
Nice. What did you think about them having a professional wrestler advertise your band?
I thought it was a great thing. I mean, I'm a promoter myself. I book more regional acts as opposed to national touring bands, but we're building up to that.
Nice.
Um,
So when you saw a professional wrestler, you were like, "What?"
well, I was impressed obviously with the photo, and then they kind of gave me a little background on you, and I looked a little up with it,
Oh,
and
you saw my story of my
right,
sickness.
right. So
Yeah, it's a lot of people. I mean, no one anticipates to. I mean, okay, it's one thing to have a model on the album. It's
right.
or whatever. But then for it to be a wrestler, it's like, oh, that's interesting. And then to see my story and hear about my story, it's like it's definitely as one to quote one of my doctors, one in a million.
No, I hear that. I can totally relate for sure.
Oh
Um,
yeah, damn.
it's always interesting when you're getting thrown a big curveball on the medical end of things.
Right.
But
Do you talk to Rock Rage Radio? Because I
oh
know they
yeah,
want to I'm supposed to tell them to reach out to me again because
okay,
I with my brain fog, with my condition, I know
right,
I have their numbers saved,
yeah,
but they I definitely will work with them this year. So
nice.
maybe I'll be advertising your band again.
That would be fantastic. I'll send you some merch.
Yeah.
Right on, cool. Well, yeah. So before we got on air, we were talking about getting into wrestling, and you said you weren't really familiar with it growing up per se.
So how okay, so as a wrestling fan, you watch these interviews of us wrestlers, right?
Yeah,
So there's the vast majority of us were fans growing up, right? And
yeah,
then there's the occasional, oh, I never was and I was brought into it and then or whatever. So I'm that one small percentile because like
right,
okay, so my caregiver, my brother Nathaniel, um he's my brother in wrestling because like but now of course became my caregiver but he has the exact opposite story of me. He has that cliche story of first time he watched it he was in diapers, you
yeah.
know, so he was like brought up on that and he's a 90s baby so he had the attitude era and
Oh
stuff,
yeah,
so he was a big Stone Cold mark.
right,
So
right, right.
so him being one of my mentors and me being immersed around him as I got involved with wrestling and then during my injury and during my sickness because it's this spring will make 9 years since my accident. So being
Right, it's been a
just
while.
around a stone cold mark, you know, you kind of
Yep.
get immersed into that attitude era,
Oh, definitely.
that old school wrestling. But the point is, he was brought up on wrestling. I wasn't.
Right.
So that guys, I have I would, one of my first memories was in diapers. I played baby Jesus in a play. I was a theater kid. I was okay, so the age to get involved with sports is normally 5 years old, right?
Yeah,
Like the 4 or 5 year mark, right?
right.
I have an elder sister, so she would get involved with the sports. Me being like 2 years younger, at the age of 2, I was involved with sports. So I was, even though these teams, I wasn't 4 or 5, I was actually a part of the team, you know? So
Right,
I
right,
got to
right.
be in the practices. And then if they didn't have a girl, like
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
able to be on the team, so I
Wow.
was the honorable mention at the age of 2 for the sports my 5-year-old sister was in, which was basketball, which was t-ball, softball, which then I think by the time she got to age of 7, it was volleyball. So I was always that kid that was, well, she's not supposed to be on the team. She's too young. So that
Yeah.
was my upbringing, was
Okay.
sports,
Yeah.
was theater. So, but a lot of my sports was dance, cheerleading. So I did ballet, tap, jazz, gymnastics. Like that
Yeah.
was my upbringing, and I loved performing, and I loved expressing myself on stage. And then I had the idea of going to the New York Film Academy and making a career out of this perhaps. And then I got accepted in the New York Film Academy, and I was going to do it. And then I was conflicted because of my religious background, and I had other ideas of maybe doing missionary work and doing things like that. But then I got casted and offered a valet role in professional wrestling, and I was like, wait, parking cars?
Yeah.
So that's how
Right.
ignorant I was when I was just that 18-year-old child. When I got involved with wrestling,
Yeah.
I didn't know what a valet was. So, but I got involved with wrestling. I started as a manager before I became a wrestler, and I fell in love with it, and I immersed into it, and I wanted to be make a career out of it, and that was the beginning of my journey, babe.
That's fantastic.
I
Uh, what did you fall in love with about wrestling first?
remember the moment I fell in love with wrestling.
Yeah.
I so okay. It was in the Appalachian Mountains, and it was in Kentucky, and I was a manager, and I had no drive um to want to be a wrestler.
Right.
Even though I had the theater background, even though I was doing the New York Film Academy Iggy,
Right.
even though I was pursuing the arts in other ways, I never, with my athletic background, you would think, okay, be a wrestler. No, that wasn't the first job offer was as a valet. So, or as a manager, I never pondered onto becoming a wrestler. So the moment I fell in love with the business is the moment I realized I was like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, wait. It
Mhm.
was like an aha moment. It's
Yeah.
like, hello, like,
Right.
duh. Like,
Right. Of course.
you kind of were like groomed from the
Yep.
age of 2. Since you were playing baby Jesus in diapers, like since that
Yeah.
moment you were meant to be a wrestler.
Absolutely.
So it was like that aha moment, and I remember it. So I was at an indie show, and man, the crowd was hot back then. Like it was like, so it went from the crowd was just the boys' family and
Right.
their girlfriends or whatever, or so it was just like maybe 50 people, but the crowd got so invested. In particular, I was battling my caregiver, Nate. He was going by Nate Cross at the time, and he um he was so over and so hot on the mic. Like think like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Right.
Think
Right.
like kind of like how who would be someone recent that did good on the mic. Like I honestly, Nathaniel. is made that town so hot that by the time this performance was going on, it went from just whoever was hooking up with the boys and their
Yeah,
family,
yeah,
like in the crowd.
exactly.
So there was probably in that small indie show, there was probably like 200 people, 300 people, like
Right.
packed into one room. Like that
Wow.
was how hot that crowd was, on to hating us,
Right,
particularly.
right, right.
I playing the heel, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
and so there I am in the moment, and I think the whole setup was like, we had the United States title, and everyone thinks it's on the line, so we lose, and everyone thinks the belt is being taken, but and then in the end, the belt was not on the line. So the crowd is so hot, it's like shoot, they hate us. It's like
yeah,
shoot,
yeah,
like they are hot,
yeah,
and so then comes the Iggy when we lose, and euphoria erupts.
yeah,
Euphoria of like a packed small shindies, you know. This little town in Kentucky just erupts. And I get to get on the mic and announce that the belt actually was not on the line.
yeah,
So I let it's like an orchestra.
yeah,
It's like I'm the conductor, and I it's like dance puppets dance. It's so
yeah,
beautiful as an artist that this is the reaction you wanted, and to be able to deliver. So the crowd's hot. We lost the belt. We lost the match. Oh no. Then who's this bitch getting in the ring? And it's like they get silent. And
yeah.
it's like, but it wasn't on the line. And then the shoot eruption of the fans of the crowd, it's like
Right.
conducting an orchestra, and the way that they wanted to jump the barrier and rip my flesh apart just to have be able to get that reaction was so gnarly, and
Yeah.
the belt really wasn't on the line. And we will get out,
Uh,
leave, bye, toodles. So, no, so the concept of that whole thing is when I'm experiencing the crowd eruption with haha, you lost, they're so satisfied that I lost, they're so thrilled, they don't care who
yeah,
won, who cares about the baby face, who gives a fuck, whoever that is, you lost. To be able to perform and bring that out of people, and then goosebumps on the mic, exactly what I needed, silence, and
yeah,
then to have them brought up again, that is the moment I was like, I fucking love professional wrestling. Oh my God, I love this sport.
yeah,
Oh, wait, I want to do this. Oh, wait, I can do this. Wait, I was kind of meant to do this. I was kind of brought
yeah,
up. So that was the moment, and I will never forget it. I fell in love with professional wrestling, and then down the rabbit hole after
yeah,
that.
absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
that's an incredible story for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm a musician by trade, so I can relate to getting that kind of reaction and seeing what's getting over with the crowd
Mhm.
and see people get into it and really touch somebody emotionally in any way, whether it just means they're fucking having a good time. Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
there's really nothing like that.
Right. Yeah, as an
Yeah,
artist, just expressing yourself,
yeah.
and your art being able to get that reaction out of people, it is really satisfying for sure.
So you're 18 at this point, it's starting to come in, have a pretty good pop with the crowd, doing that heel job. And
Yeah,
so,
I spent nearly 4 years on the indies, tearing down wrestling rings, learning how to build them, and just doing the whole paying your dues. And
right, right,
I when I fell in love with wrestling, I was discovered by Bobby Blaze,
nice.
and he became my first mentor. And he's like, "Kid, you can make a living out of this. You really need to do this." And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of having this moment of I really want to do this.
Mhm.
So when I wanted to train, I was really I didn't want to be that mark in tights, so to speak.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't want to be that just an unprofessional person. I wanted to make a living out of it. So
yeah.
I went to college. I researched my schools and I ended up going to Funakis. And for under a year, I was in Texas and I ended up going to Funakis. And then WrestleMania ended up happening in Texas. And all of us kids went up, of course, to Dallas because we were down in San Antonio.
Yeah,
And everyone wanted on the different indie shows and make herself available.
yeah.
And Rikishi was doing territory league. I think that's what it was called, territory leagues at the time. And um, we were scouted to represent Texas, I think. And so we were brought on to the show, and it was a show right in the parking lot of WrestleMania that
No
year in
kidding. That's
Dallas.
awesome.
So, oh, dude, it was so cool. And then just sitting outside of the venue was Rikishi, and this is my first time meeting him. And
Right.
I'm just this nobody that's had had that harsh carny upbringing on the indies in the Appalachian Mountains to training under this legend like Funaki to now here it is WrestleMania and here's the freaking legend WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi and he's the boss of this promotion that's happening. It's like, no
Yeah.
pressure. So that was my introduction to him, and I think the other two girls on the card was Shotzi and Raquel.
No
Uh,
kidding. That's
those
awesome.
were those were the other two women on the card, and then me. And I'm just like, huh. Well, they had great careers, and I got put in a wheelchair. Yay!
Well,
But
I mean,
Rikishi,
you got to start somewhere. But
shush. So those two went on and had beautiful careers, and
yeah,
but no, I got let's see. Rikishi told me that, I told him who I was and training and how long I'd been training under Funaki. And
yeah,
he gave me the invite to come after that weekend of shows during WrestleMania. I think they had like a couple shows. Rikishi ended up inviting me to LA to come to the school. And that's when I was like, okay. So I just packed up a suitcase. I was a homeless kid,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I had been paying my dues and grinding for so many years at this point that this is what I've sacrificed and dedicated myself to, so that only
right.
made sense. So I had my crappy vehicle and I drove to LA and I sacrificed, it was just under a year. I slept out of my vehicle in Los Angeles and I trained at Knox Pro and I did all their everything that they wanted from me to become a professional wrestler. And
Well,
it was,
I admire your commitment. It takes a certain type of person to be able to put in dues and really earn their spot, especially with there's so many avenues to get in wrestling now. But
yeah,
you
like
went
I
and did
had
it the right
nothing.
way.
I
Yeah,
I had I had I had nothing. No, I had no family, no friends. I didn't have anyone that supported me or believed in me. It was like if you want to do this, you're gonna have to do it yourself. So I got a job at Walmart. The only availability was night shift. So I worked night shift at Walmart and then in the daytime I would if I wasn't fighting LA traffic, I was in the gym working out at Planet Fitness. And then if I wasn't working out or showering at a Planet Fitness, I was trying to sleep out of my vehicle in the daytime. And there was no air conditioning in my crappy vehicle. So it was the daytime with no air and I got sun poisoning a lot and it was a interesting experience. And then got to go to school, got to go train and do this gnarly becoming a professional wrestler. And if you want to be serious about it, it's not easy and it's really gruesome on the body. So I had the worst odds against me and I did it. And then to I would have loved to have spent these past, like 8 years having a career. I would have loved
right.
to, which wrestling never. owes us anything,
Hmm.
and you know, as wrestlers we get hurt, but I didn't just get hurt and put in a wheelchair. I activated a disease, and that's what's imprisoned me. And I guess it's just sad because I did it the right way, the correct way. I did it. I sacrificed everything, and I didn't cut any corners. I didn't ask for the easy way out, and I was never, God knows, I was never handed anything. And to not even have a career, it sucks. But it's not about the victim story. It's not about this being the end. I want to take this and I want to make it a victory story. I want
Yeah.
to give people hope and myself hope. I don't want to be the victim. I don't want my sickness to control me, and I choose to bring awareness to my rare disease, and I choose to be an advocate for the sick, and I will continue this even with beyond wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue this story, but I don't um, I don't want it to be a negative story, you know, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, from what I've heard at this point, it'd be kind of hard to make it a negative story. You've had, plenty to be impressed and proud of yourself about,
Mm. It's
even up to that point in the story.
I definitely have imposter syndrome, and mental health is a real thing, and especially
Yep.
dealing with the suicide disease. My
Yeah.
my sickness is nicknamed the suicide disease for a reason, and there is a lot of pressure on me to bring awareness to my rare disease and be an advocate for my fellow CRPS people, let alone the others that are sick with other sicknesses. You know, like
Yeah.
being a voice is very important to me. Letting the healthy know about this and be less ignorant is very
Right.
important to me, but then also not being put in a bubble and not being categorized and discriminated against,
Yeah.
and not missing out on opportunities because of the ignorance. I don't want to be labeled as the sick girl. I want to be beyond this as well.
No, I can definitely relate. I mean, growing up, I had my fair share of difficulties and, finding exception among people. And luckily I found music kind of the same way that you found wrestling. It wasn't really, you know, at the forefront of my mind as a kid right away, but um, long story short, I've had 25 years plus of experience now as a professional, and while it might not translate into dollars as much at the moment, I love what I do, so I can totally relate to that for sure.
Right.
So CRPS is what it's called?
Yeah, complex regional pain syndrome.
Okay. So walk me through what you got injured, obviously, to trigger this disease. So
Yeah,
what
you
happened?
can. Yeah, you can. So with this neurological condition, you activate this disease through like any kind of trauma, like particularly like accidents, like whether it's you fall and break your arm, or something as severe as a heart attack,
Yeah.
like, or I am in contact with someone that was activated through a sprained ankle. So this could happen to anyone. There's no rhyme to reason. There's no yes or no. It literally is a rare disease. So mine was activated through torn ligaments. So that's what happened to me. I tore the ligaments in the bottom of both my feet, and it activated CRPS. And the doctors did not understand why, like the pain did not match the injury.
Yeah.
So they didn't know how to treat me. They didn't know how to treat me, and I couldn't stand. I couldn't walk. I was collapsing and vomiting, and I was put in a wheelchair. And the pain never matched the injury. So by 8 months in, they're like, we're just gonna go in and release these muscles. Let's try to help this
Yeah.
girl. So they did the fasciitis release surgery, which again, it wasn't just torn muscles, it was a disease. So these doctors, God love them, they didn't know any better, but they just butchered me and spread my disease. They spread my sickness and mm, I lost my faith in God when I came out of those surgeries. When I was, oh, it was the most disgusting pain you could ever imagine. And I remember, I just remember being, I knew I was going to die in that wheelchair. I just had this ominous feeling, like when they set my body after the first two surgeries. I was just like, "What have you done?"
Mm.
And it became a very dark time for me, for sure. And then I found the will to combat it and fight. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna wrestle. I don't know what's going on, but I'm losing my mind, but I'm gonna wrestle. And that's when I taught myself how to walk again and the Planet Fitness.
I mean, the sheer will and the power of the human spirit, people often disregard, but um, that's an incredible example of that for sure.
Or just stupidity and ignorance. Like I
Right,
don't know. Like
right.
it's a little bit of everything, I think. But the light went out. Oh well, it's broke. So it's more so like yes, my will to live. Yes, and also I believe God had a hand in it, and I there's a lot of yeses to that, but also I didn't know any better. I didn't know what I was combating. I knew this was the most painful pain I've ever felt, but I was
Right.
ignorant to know that this was the most painful pain known to mankind. Like,
Yeah.
I could never imagine. But I knew what I felt, and I was gaslit by the medical community. They didn't believe what I was saying, they didn't understand, and they tried. And also, by the time I taught myself how to walk again and started cutting the weight I put on in that wheelchair, they decided to go back in and cut me open and tried to do more surgeries. Like think like the carpal tunnel surgery, but like a
Right.
nerve block surgery, but in the legs.
Yeah.
So like in the ankles. And that spread my disease. And they it wasn't just the same doctors. It was 15 different doctors in the expansion of 7 years. It wasn't like I just sat on my butt or just dealt with the same two doctors. I literally went to 15 different doctors and I just got butchered and gaslit and they didn't believe my pain or they just were like, okay, let's cut you open and try this. And it just spread my disease. And my disease ended up spreading throughout my body. And then I finally got diagnosed and discovered by like the 15th freaking doctor. And they quite literally said I was lucky to be alive.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially if there's so many exploratory surgeries and all
Like,
that
it's
kind of stuff.
not fair to be the medical guinea pig. It's not
No,
fair to be butchered by these people that are supposed to be saving you.
right. No, unfortunately, I know all too well the well, I can't say all bad, but I was very lucky growing up to have a good orthopedic team and a good surgical team. They became close family, but the bureaucracy behind all of it uh, definitely got taxing after a while. And there's
It's very
certainly moments
political.
where you wonder, are they really trying to do good, or are some of these doctors just there to make a paycheck and
Keep you
people's
sick.
well-being be damned, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I feel that. I feel that to the core, and it's sad and it's disgusting. It's like they want to keep us sick,
Yeah.
and they want to make money off us as we die.
Yep. I mean, I one of those things that I can relate to was myself getting off of narcotics for pain.
Which a lot
Um,
of my CR, to be clear for everyone watching, I there's no shame in
right.
taking medicine.
Yep.
You're valid in how you handle your sickness. You're valid how you handle your pain. But the thing is, like again, if I had been diagnosed with my sickness in the beginning and offered medicine, I
Mm.
probably would have. Who's to say I wouldn't have taken it? Just because
Yeah,
I was diagnosed 7 years in the game and never offered a single medicine. And they're like, "Do you want medicine?" It's like, why now? So,
right.
so my CRPS brothers and sisters, let alone other people, I never judge for taking medicine.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I've since been able to switch to edible cannabis, but
Nice, yeah.
I went through
That's
like a year and a half of fighting with doctors to, maintain a simple Vicodin prescription.
It's sad
It's
that we have to fight for, and it's not even a pain-free life. It's
right.
to lessen the
Yeah,
pain.
it's just to give a baseline.
It's literally to try to make living tolerable. So I get it. Even though
Yeah,
I never was offered anything. So I just raw dogged this whole time. So when I was offered this stuff, it's like, no, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because what about addiction? What about all these other things,
right.
these other health issues that could be
Yeah,
developed? It's like I got a lot of issues as it is, but I did accept a medical marijuana card.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been a lifesaver.
it's a
I,
medicine. It helps and saves lives for sure.
yeah, no doubt. But yeah, we can talk about weed another day. Jeez. But yeah, I'm. It's nice to meet somebody randomly like yourself that I can relate to on that level because
Yeah,
it's tricky when you're surrounded by quote unquote able-bodied people most of the time that
yeah,
don't know what it is that you really deal with. We tough it out and try to act like it's not taxing on us, but it's hard sometimes.
for
And,
sure.
I
And the
can
and
definitely
the healthy
understand.
will never understand. The healthy will
Right,
never understand.
right. But
They what is it? What is the saying? The healthy wears an invisible crown that only the sick can see.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But I mean, props to you for being a bad bitch and just fucking pushing this.
Thanks, babe. Yeah, I
No,
honestly I didn't know any better, so it's not like I'm that
yep,
brave. But now that I do know better, like why quit now? Like let's see how like this would be such a boring ending to this epic story, you know?
right,
Like I why stop now? Why not like let's push it to the end. Even if I die in the wrestling ring, let's freaking go.
right. And it's hard nowadays to find somebody that has that much passion and who they are as a person and
I
what they
have the
do.
love, I have the passion, and I will always go back to that girl that fell in love with wrestling. And then it also, that girl that fell in love with wrestling when I had that reaction from the crowd in the Appalachian Mountains. But then there's that girl that was in the wheelchair that wrestling killed and hurt and abandoned, and I felt the raw pain and that girl. So it's always there's a purpose to not give up now, and it'd be a shame for those two innocent versions of me to not get to taste and experience the victory of conquering the sickness and getting to experience everything that they deserved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I've been so deprived. I didn't get to, I told everyone it was more than a wrestling match. It was a career. It was more than a wrestling career that was taken from me.
Mhm.
I didn't get to be a girl. I didn't get to live. And now I'm going to live.
Right. Well, amen, sweetheart. That's great.
Yay!
Good stuff. No, and to see what you've done in a short amount of time post recovery, or at least, getting yourself back on your feet and getting back in the ring
Short amount
shape.
of time. It's been this April will make 9 years. 9 years of my life.
Well, I mean, it's a good long time for that, but I'm just saying in the grand scheme of a
In the grand
lifetime.
scheme of things, yeah, it's go time, kids. Like let's
Absolutely.
do this. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean you got to think I was a valet for so many years. on
Right.
the indies, just digging around and going through the trials and tribulations of the carnies, and then to dedicate and sacrifice nearly 2 years of my life to school. If you think about it, with Funaki, with Rikishi, I
Right.
sacrificed so much to do those student to be under these legends and to learn the right way. And then 9 years being like this spring, no career. So, but to be fair, yes, what I've been building the past 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's what you're referring to
Yeah.
is
I'm just
like
saying, like,
the past, ever
you've
since I
gone
got back
beyond
into
where you
wrestling.
were at.
Yeah, well, ever since I got back involved with wrestling, for the past 2 years, I started making appearances. I started doing podcasts, and so the signings, then the
Yeah.
podcasts, and then the becoming valeting again, and then valeting wasn't enough. I am a wrestler, so let's add taking a move or giving a move. So I started taking bumps,
Yeah.
and so the past 2 years of a build, then getting signed to JCW and getting to work TV with them. So like these different opportunities, yeah, this past 2 years has been pretty magical. And I
Yeah.
can't wait. I can't wait to see what these next 2 years bring. It's gonna be
Oh,
insane.
absolutely. No, it's
It's like
amazing.
I think this is the ending we need to my book, to the doc series, to this
Yeah.
epic tale from the moment I was homeless and scared and alone to going through all this crazy story to now. I think these next 2 years is going to be the cool ending.
Definitely. No, I mean, you've proven all any naysayers wrong so far. That's for sure. I admire your determination.
I mean, I like proving doctors wrong, and then I
Oh, girl, I
also
get it.
it's like challenge accepted.
Yep.
I like to prove doctors wrong, and then I like to prove all the naysayers for sure. Like people that would look down on a sick person for still being involved, or not take the sickness seriously and being
Yeah.
like, oh, it's not that bad or something the both sides of the coin, or just sheer jealousy. And we're in a competitive community in a competitive world, so this is showbiz. So if you how dare you outshine someone else or something. So like
Yeah. Yeah.
there's always going to be that. And with my trials and tribulations through life and experiencing the different tastes of death that I have experienced, there's no room for any of that in my life. And I do believe in projecting happiness and kindness and just being blessed to be here, being
Right.
blessed to be able to work. Because I'm going to be in pain regardless. Like
Yeah.
whether I'm in a wheelchair or whether I'm in that ring, I'm going to be in pain. So it means a lot for these opportunities. So I'm not gonna let any naysayers uh, poop in my Cheerios.
Indeed.
Not just keep.
But
Yeah,
poop in materials.
because
I'll remember that one for sure.
they're poo poo heads.
But yeah, no, I can totally relate. I mean, the doctors didn't think I was gonna see my teenage years, and I'm almost 40 now. So,
Congratulations, good for you.
yeah, I
Yeah.
again, it was very much a similar, you know, I was brought up to not let it stop me, and damned if I don't, like I just keep pushing and I'm doing things that most people wouldn't even dream of doing. And I'm
Right.
still broke. But
Oh gosh.
it's I just for the same reasons that you do it is that, you know, giving that positivity back in such a dark world that we live in
Yeah,
and
it's like
motivating people, like that's what makes me happy.
yeah, there's no other way to be. This
Right.
is life.
Hmm.
This is what it is. This
Right.
is our reality, and why not? Like, oh, I think my phone's about to die. Oh
Oh
shit.
no.
It's fine. Sorry. Did you have more questions? So sorry.
A little bit. So we we're talking where you're at now versus where you started uh, after your injury initially. So, what was that first bump like post-op? Like, was it a situation where you felt incredibly nervous and then you felt relieved once it was over? Or was it like, oh, fuck, this sucks? Like, did you
Yeah,
have any doubt?
it was okay, so I have PTSD and I've gotten so
Yeah,
much better in the past couple years, but it was I was dealing with a lot of PTSD with and people with the sickness can collaborate or whatever the word is for that. They like it wasn't just wrestling activated the sickness and
right.
it like I couldn't even listen to a wrestling podcast, let alone watch wrestling. That's how
Right.
bad my mental health was after getting out of that wheelchair. So, because I spent years in the wheelchair too, it took over a year to learn how to walk again. And then when I had the by the fourth surgery, I had to learn how to walk again. Like it was multiple times. It was disgusting how I was treated. But um by the time we got to the point of the first bump during training, I we at this point we know I'm sick. At this point we know what it is. So with my sickness, people get afraid of tattoos, let alone as a woman, it's risky. It's suggested not to be pregnant, of course. So like just having human things taken away from me, like a tattoo or being a mommy. How dare I be in a world like this? But there's others that are like, F that, I'm gonna go get a tattoo. Or, I want like there's one woman in my DMs that's like she doesn't care about spread. She doesn't care if it takes her life. Like she wanted to be a mommy. So she did get pregnant. And like this is very real stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm gonna be a wrestler.
Right.
And that's the one power I can take back. So when I entered the ropes, I had to, that was one of the last things I did. Not as in now, but that was one of
Right.
the last steps to the beginning
Yeah.
of what I'm doing now because at the beginning when I learned how to walk again, it was only like for 15 minutes and I was vomiting and screaming and crying. And then by the end of the year, it was for 10 hours. So when I approached that first bump, the what I'm about to tell you about, I'm beyond that now. But my PTSD, I couldn't even be in a locker room. So then we had to learn how to do that. Then I had to endure okay, going to signings. So then I started doing the signings and then I started valeting. So I did my baby steps and it took these past couple years. So then it became okay, valeting's not enough. Let's take a move or give a move because you are a wrestler, you got to prove yourself. So oh, I knew approaching that I am sick and this is going to taste and feel different than a normal human being. So I knew what a bump felt like, and I knew it was about to taste and feel different. And I was right. That was gnarly, but call it my ego, call it my pride, call it, okay, this sucks, but let's do it again. It was something that I had to build and this is poorly put, but a callus. I had to build the
No, you're
callus.
right. I mean, it makes sense for sure.
Because my disease has no rhyme to reason, and uh, when I taught myself how to stand and walk again for long periods of time, it was like building a callus in a sense.
Yeah.
And I have good days, bad days. I could do some more or less. That's true, but I was building a callus. I was relearning. So that's what I'm doing with wrestling with these bumps. And now I'm so beyond that first bump. But
Yeah.
um, now my body can endure more, and we're trying to get it to be able to do a full match. And I think I can do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the goal this year. But I realistically though, for the sick that are watching, I do understand that I'll probably only have one match. I probably won't have be healthy enough for like a main roster full-time wrestling career, but then again, I didn't know if I could stand for 10 hours. So
Yeah.
who knows how the next year to 2 years will be, but I realistically right now accept the idea of one match and then just a manager role beyond this.
I mean, it's certainly not bad. You've got the charisma and the look to take you beyond just the physical aspects of being
Yeah.
involved in wrestling. So
Because I
it's
feel like
good
if
that you have that.
I feel like if there's no shame in being a manager. Like I said, I'll be the female Paul Heyman or whatever. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I can really make a career like that, but I am a professional wrestler. So that one match does mean something to me.
Oh, absolutely. For
So
sure.
always prove that I am a wrestler, but then make a job as a manager. There's no shame.
No, as long as you're still being a part of what you love so much.
For sure. Make a living, make be able to buy a house, cover my medical bills, and then open a facility, like be able to fund a research facility myself. Like
Right.
start a business. That's my wildest dreams is to be able to help other people that don't have hope, you know?
Oh, yeah, for
Like that
sure.
that's something I really want.
Well, that's incredible. So you've busted your ass on the indies, you've gone through all this stuff and getting back on your feet, and now you wind up with a JCW contract. For those that don't know, this is Juggalo Championship Wrestling. It's a little bit different than what you see on most wrestling programs, but I like anything that's a little bit edgier and a little bit more off the wall. So, yeah, tell me how that started.
Right. It is a blessing, especially now that you guys know my backstory and all that I had to do to get to this point. But uh I tell my bosses that this is my WWE. This is so cool to be here. And I mean that. And I the way I got involved was, of course, Violent J. He discovered me, and I am too sick to wrestle, so I'm brought on as a manager, and he offered me this role, and some people wouldn't have taken it, and I jumped at the opportunity, and I genuinely mean it when I say that I'm blessed to be here, and this is so fun and exciting. It's like a kid in a candy store. It's like, oh, me, I get to be here. Frick yeah! Like, let's
Yeah,
go. And
right.
it's like you guys, and I don't need to throw my sickness in anyone's face. I don't need to be pitied, but you guys don't know how hard I worked for this moment, and I don't care if I have one line in the play. I don't care if I'm the kid sitting on the bleachers as the basketball game is going on. You know what I'm saying? I am
Yeah,
participating in what I love and what I was
right.
made for, what I wanted. I am a part of it, and so cool. Like I army crawled to get here, quite literally, and
Yeah, no kidding.
I defied the odds to be here, and I feel not only so blessed to be here, but and thrilled at the different opportunities that are thrown at me. But I'm just excited to see what's next. You know, what is JCW going to become? Because there's such momentum with the company
Right.
and what we're doing with the different product, and I'm thrilled to see what happens this year.
No, I can't wait to see where things go for you for sure. I
Yeah.
think it's nothing but all kinds of crazy possibilities, and I know
Yeah.
you're gonna kick their ass anyway. That's for
Thank
sure.
you. Thank you.
But yeah, so being on the indies in comparison to being in a little bit, shall we say, a higher end production in JCW, what was that like? As you know, you've been part of this for a long time, but was there any step up, did you feel at all?
For
Or
sure. For sure.
yeah,
This is, like I said, this is like my WWE.
yeah,
This is the ceiling for so, like this is really cool to be a part of. Like if people don't understand how important JCW is, they're about to with this year with what we're
yeah,
about to do. Like this is a good batch of people too, thankfully. Like
yeah,
in the entertainment world, there's a lot of sharks. So thankfully we have a good batch of people and this is like a family and a camaraderie, but we are in motion and it's from my humble beginnings to this moment. It's pretty cool. I'm
yeah.
blessed. It's wow. Like I get a my bosses Violet J and Vince Russo pinch me. I'm dreaming. Like
Yeah, exactly. I get
this
it.
is wild. Yeah, it's definitely a step up.
Well, I've never had the pleasure of meeting Vince Russo, but I've always, shall we say, been interested in the things he's done over the years. What was that first meeting like for you with him?
I'm not gonna say that on camera because I ever thought I was on location. So I was it was odd because like I had just been brought in on tour and he had just been brought in, so we came in at the same time and
Yeah.
people were whispering about him being brought in and we were given the Iggy that yes, this is legit happening. So as we're being told this, I'm being brought in and I guess no one knew I was showing up and it's like, hi, surprise. So I show up on set. But the funniest thing is I was flown out for California and the tour was driving somewhere and so I had a day it wasn't even a day, it was a 14-hour gap before I had to be on location for the next shooting. So naturally, I left the show in LA and I left LAX and I ended up flying to the ECW arena to meet my girlfriend Bronwyn. She's
Nice.
the Dynamite Kid's daughter,
Oh, right
and
on.
we
Yeah.
and we went and performed at the ECW arena for like we did a signing, like a meet and greet, and then we ended up performing for Battleground, I think it was called. And so after doing that bit, I had to immediately get on a plane and get back on
Yeah, it was like
tour
you're just going
get
head
back on
first into
tour
all
and
this.
not get in trouble not get in trouble and then and be there for the next shooting, aka the day Vince Russo is showing up. So I was like
Yeah, that's a lot
so,
to take in for sure.
so that was like my first experience like coming in hot and then when I met him, it was funny because I will go. I won't talk publicly about it, but I was on location and he's such a cool guy. He's such a dad. He's such a good guy. But there was a moment that I had, and it was funny because I'll go into detail on my later. I think I mentioned it on his podcast though, so it's not
Yeah,
like I'm being secretive. I mentioned it
right,
on his
right.
podcast, but we ended but the good thing that I will talk about is like I was talking psychology. Um well okay, you know what? Shoot, I'll just say it, but no, I can't say I was okay, so I was in a lot of pain and my vision was blurry, and someone started talking to me, and I didn't know who it was, and it was him. So I didn't know I was talking to him at first. And so
Oh man,
so that was it. I didn't want to come off as rude and publicly say that, but I'm pretty sure I already said that on his podcast to his face.
that's
But
funny.
my vision's blurry. I'm hot. I just got off the plane. My heart's pounding, thinking I'm going to get in trouble if I'm late. But I was actually the first to arrive to the venue. Thank you very much. So everything was fine. But
Yeah.
then I'm talking to someone over here, and I don't know who the heck it is, and I'm just talking, and then I start talking psychology about my character, and I was like, wow, that was a really good conversation, and it turned out to be Vince Russo. And I was like, oh, that's the new boss guy. That's great. I
Oh,
love that I was just organically stupid, no
yeah.
filter, talking about the ring rat and talking about what I want to. Ah! No filter me is not a first impression.
You're like, oh shit, that was that guy.
I was like, well, frig.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a
Well,
good
that's a
moment.
hell of an introduction for somebody like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Now,
I'm
what
sorry,
about
guys.
ICP in general? Were you a fan? Because I don't follow them very much, but I do know a handful of tunes.
Yeah, yeah. So I've slowly been listening to their music, and like it's odd because being around Violent J, being around him, like he's just so human, if that makes sense. Like,
Oh yeah,
like these are like Vince Russo, Violent J, these are the true celebrities. These are the famous people,
right,
and
right.
to be behind the scenes and just oh, they're human,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
just but this it just sounds so unauthentic, but I will always reiterate the truth, and the truth is this: these guys are so freaking nice and not weird at all. They're genuinely human and kind,
yeah.
and Jay has the biggest heart in the world, and then Vince is such a dad, and he asks about my sickness and is always concerned, and then I look like the crazy person with a smile on my face going, "Ha, we're alive!" And I'm
Yeah,
the insane
right.
person running in the back going, "Woohoo!" But no, like Vince is like, are you okay? So,
Yeah,
like these people are genuinely kind people, and
yeah.
I'm blessed to know them, and or getting to be having them included in my life, and it's cool.
Well, I can't wait to see where the rest of this journey takes you. I
Oh,
definitely intend to keep in touch, and I'd love to do a follow up, maybe 6 months, something like that.
sounds good. Yeah.
Um, to see where you're at. But go get them, girl. That's all I can say.
Thank you. Thank you
Thanks
for
for
the
coming on the
support.
show.
I appreciate you. Thanks for bringing me on.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, keep in touch, folks. Don't forget to check out bulldoguncensored.com for new episodes. I try to get at least once a month, if not twice. We got lucky this month having Paige up here. But yeah, check out our sponsors, check out all of our socials and whatnot, and I'll be posting this one soon. So, Paige, thanks for coming on.
All
We'll see you
right. Thanks
next
for
time,
having
guys.
me.